What up? It's your boy, the Incredible Man. Yes, I'm back at it again, and this is Fire Force. I made a mistake in my episode 15 review, but I called it Dr. Snow. But this is Fire Force episode 16 discussion slash review, man. And dude, okay, before I dive into this episode, I'm gonna say it was a good episode. I really enjoyed it. There were a lot of moments that I really loved, information wise, and then there were a couple moments that I didn't enjoy. But before I do any of that, if you didn't see my episode 15 discussion review, like I posted it earlier, but dude, did I not call it with the chick? What was her name? Lisa Chan or something like that. I think that's her name. Anyway, I called it in my episode 15 review. Just the looks that she was giving off in this, like the vibe she felt, like the vibe she was putting off, like when Shinra and everyone popped up, and it just felt like it was off to me. I didn't trust her from jump, man. I didn't trust her at all, and it paid off because she was working with Giovanni. See, I can write a manga, man. I could write a manga if I really wanted to, because I got the mind of a mangaka, and I could write it if I wanted to, because I suspected her from the jump, man. I mean, there was no way that she wasn't working with someone. I didn't think it was Giovanni. Well, maybe sort of, kind of, but I didn't really think it was him. I thought maybe she was working with the evangelist, but that also came out to be true too. That Giovanni is working with the evangelist, and we see him working with the evangelist, and I don't know if he captured Shinra or not. They didn't even show that. They didn't go back to that. But anyway, there was a lot of stuff going on in this episode, so let's dive right into this episode and talk about some stuff, man. So this episode picked up right after episode 15 with with Shinra telling the sister and Arthur about the Adola burst and the Adola link, and him getting these weird feelings and vibes when something's going on pertaining to anyone that's attached to the Fire Force. What, maybe does that where the name comes in? Like the Fire Force, not just because they're the firefighting company, but because, like, they like second generation pyrokinetic or third generation, and like they're connected to the Adola. There's so much going on. But anyway, he's telling Arthur and the sister, and like they're a little skeptical, but they kind of believe him because they show us clips of him saving Benimaru, and I'm assuming that's kind of what he used to get them to believe him. And he's like, well, Conroe told me to save Benimaru, and my legs reacted, and I did, and now they're telling me that we have to stop Giovanni, and he's right. So we find out that Giovanni is working with the evangelist, and he's a part of their group. And dude, tact wise, he's really kind of cool. I'm really liking his character. I'm loving his character design. Got that whole Dr. Dread steampunk type thing going on, and the way that his like he you could tell like he pretty much operated or something on himself, because he has like mechanical arms that shoot out and everything, and he was getting the best of Shinra. Let's be real, and this dude is prepared for a lot of different scenarios, and he explains that in this episode. But we have Shinra telling Arthur and the sister, and then they finally buy into it, and then they go tell Vulcan. And I gotta be real, man, I love this character, man. I love Vulcan, man. He's definitely my new favorite character. But I gotta give props to my boy Arthur this episode. Arthur really shined until he didn't. And that's one of the things I really nitpicked about this episode. But so we have Arthur telling them what's going on, and in that whole scene when all of this was transpiring, Lisa looked suspect, did she not? I mean, come on, man. Like, she looked like she wasn't, like, maybe she was just like, you can say she was like maybe kind of thinking a little bit, but she seemed very suspect in my opinion. So then it turns out that we find out that Arthur can't really, I'm not feeling very knightly right now, so I can't really go out. I don't have my weapons or anything. So Vulcan builds him a sword and makes him a steed, but at this moment it's a donkey. But Arthur doesn't really pay any attention to it. He just feels very knightly, and he goes out to put the moves to this dude. And because he's boasted up, like his flame is stronger, the will of his flame is like super intense, and he's putting the moves on this other dude from the evangelist group, and he's going ham. He even beat like the other dude with his power to make mirages. He was mollywopping these people until they made a mirage of him, and he saw what he looked like, which was a fool, and that's what they were clowning him about inside the little place. But that's one of the things that I really nitpicked about this episode. Arthur was having such a serious moment, and I know that he is one of the joke characters of the show. But like when it's time for him to be serious, he can be serious. But this episode, they didn't make him that. They made him serious when it was time to be serious, but they also threw jokes in on him at that time, and I didn't like that. I wish they would have just let Arthur be super serious in this moment, because that was his moment to shine, because most of the time he has to team up with Shinra and they both have a moment to shine, but this time it was Arthur's moment, and they took it away from him. They gave it to him and then they took it away from him just as fast as they gave it to him, and I didn't really enjoy that. That was one of the things that I really nitpicked about this episode. And after he saw the Mirage, they kind of got the best of Arthur and everything wasn't going his way. Then we jump back and we see Shinra fighting Giovanni, and he's getting his butt kicked. And Giovanni's shocking him with some tasers and everything. And it's not really working. And Shinra's like, he's pissed, but then next thing you know, it kind of kicks in. And he's taken out. And then Giovanni says, we got a Banzai experience because we got something that we didn't know was going to be here. And that's the guy that's connected to the Adola link. And so I'm thinking he may have already captured Shinra. I don't know, because they never showed that again. But then we have one scene that stood out to me. I kind of glossed over it. I actually forgot about it. And that is when we first see Giovanni telling his guys that they're going to raid Vulcan's base. And he tells them to lose that fake gear. So he's not working with the Fire Force or like the people at all. So his whole goal from jump, he was working with the evangelists, and that is basically made clear this episode, because he told his people, like, lose that false gear or the fake gear or whatever, and under that they had on the evangelist robes. So now we know for sure that Lisa's working with the evangelists, Giovanni's working with the evangelists, and the evangelists want to take down the, what is it called? The power source of the city. That's what they want to take down. And also in this episode, we learned that Vulcan's ancestors created the big mega reactor thing that that the evangelists want. They made that. And somewhere on his base or somewhere within him or something, there's a key connected to that. And that's what Dr. Giovanni wants. And that's what the evangelists want. And I'm assuming they want to shut it down or take over the power to it. I honestly don't know. They really haven't gave any much detail about what they want with it. But he has a key, and they want to take the key from him to probably take over. I honestly don't know. They're not really giving us much detail about it. So that's why Giovanni was there. That's why he was pressuring Vulcan this whole time. And that's why he sent Lisa in as a double rogue agent. See, didn't I say that? I called it from jump not to trust this chick, man. And then in this episode, they shot you. I thought it could have went either or. It may have been Lisa or you, but it ended up being Lisa. I called it though still. And they shot you, and a lot of stuff happened, man. And Arthur's trying to compete with these guys, and on the outside, and like he can hold his own, but he can't get past them at this point because his flame died down. He kind of felt a little embarrassed, and his power and his will to his sword isn't as strong as it was. So he's kind of he's got his back against the ropes. And I'm super excited for episode 17 to see how it's going to play out, because now we're on the precipice of something heavy, because we know that there's so many people that's working with the evangelists now. They even have a Fire Force company captain working with them, and they want the key to take over the reactor thing that powers the city. And they are out here just hurting people left and right. And I'm hoping Captain Obi kind of comes in and well, now that I think about it, is Hajime like the bad people? Like, are they working with the evangelists, or are they the evangelists, or is Hajime and the evangelist two separate entities that's kind of going back and forth with this whole behind the scenes type thing? See, there's so much going on now, and this episode just furthered all of my suspicions about everything now. Oh, I'm so confused now. I want to know what's going on. But that's pretty much all that happened in this episode. And I'm still, the only thing I'm pissed about this episode was how they made Arthur the guy, and then like they took it from him right there at the same time. I didn't like that. So we have Shinra possibly, pretty much, maybe, probably captured on the outskirts. We have Giovanni demolishing Vulcan and all of his toys. I mean, not his toys, his tools and work stuff in the image thing that we saw last episode that his grandfather and his father left him, and he's just demolishing it, man. And we kind of see that Giovanni's he's a little crazy this episode too, guys. He was this whole time he was like he was just snapping while he was hitting Vulcan. He was going back and forth. I shouldn't have waited. I shouldn't have waited. It was just, you could tell he's going through some stuff. He's like, Giovanni may be a little crazy. But that's pretty much all that happened this episode. But I called it from jump that we couldn't trust Lisa. That was just my opinion, and I felt like it was spot on, and it turned out to be true this episode, man. This is your boy Nick Incredible. Don't forget to smash that like button until you can't smash it anymore. Comment down below, and I'll be sure to respond to each and every one of them, and subscribe. But only if you really want to, man. And remember that anime matters, anime is greatness, and anime is life, man. Peace out.